There's one other thing to do on Tuchanka before curing the genophage. And that is the Cerberus attack. Cerberus has taken control of an old military installation on Tuchanka for unknown reasons. Land on Tuchanka and neutralize whatever operation Cerberus has in the area. That sounds like a good idea to do that. And as I said, I want to go to the Citadel before doing this. But after doing this. Who shall I take? Let's take Edie again. I haven't used James in a while. Far less choice in squad mates in this game, so it's kind of inevitable that sometimes I use the same squad mate twice in a row. Especially when you get missions like the last two, where it just makes sense for Garrus to come. Even if he's not mandatory. This does not include the bonuses I get from my armor, so I have this plus any additional bonuses from armor or intel that I found. Other than that, no changes. No changes for him either. And Edie is fine as well. Four points, so I'm waiting. James has 5 points to spend. Power damage or decreased shield recharge delay. Incendiary ammo capacity. Is that even useful for a squad mate? I don't think so. Or increased headshot damage. Frag grenade, we can choose increased capacity or damage to organics by 40% over 10 seconds. That sounds nice. Well, not for the people who are on the receiving end, obviously.
Cerberus' landing forces away from the Tuchanka battlefields. Their target seems to be an ancient ground-to-space cannon facility that hasn't been used since the Krogan rebellions. The site has no obvious military advantage, and the Krogan are spread too thin to deal with it.
Do we know what Cerberus is up to?
No, but we do know that Cerberus doesn't act without a plan. Get in there and stop them. Find out what they're up to while you're at it.
We'll get it done.
See to it. Hack it out.
Looks like Cerberus got that cannon operational, Commander. I'll go back up, get a read on what they're shooting at.
Get on it. All right, let's find the control room for those cannons. Kill anything in our way.
Let's do this.
As with all N7 missions, this is a multiplayer map. This is Firebase Giant. And there's probably stuff to find. And there's a couple things here that are not here in the multiplayer, because they're part of what we're doing here for single player. Junk. Oh, he's not paying attention. Well, then neither was I. So let's give him a welcome, shall we? And that was a fire explosion.
Cerberus cruiser. The cannon fire is clearing the way. If that ship makes it to bombardment range, the Krogan resistance is in trouble.
Keep track of it, Lieutenant.
On it.
As with all N7 missions, this one is also relatively difficult compared to other missions. we've done so far. Or at least we're getting quite a lot of... Okay, I'm not hitting him at all. There's quite a lot of resistance, in any case. Let's keep him busy. Anything to salvage here? I know this is probably not the best time to look for that, but... Okay, that worked. Not sure what you did with him, but it worked. Oh, there was a turret over there. No, he's up there. Well, we'll let them try and deal with him. I think that's not really all that helpful. It causes him to collapse.
Fall back to the control room.
He says to himself. Jump to salvage near the ammo crate.
Control center secure. Then I think it's time to test this cannon.
I think you're right, but I'm gonna look around first. Oh, wait, that is actually the control console. Old grid schematics.
Not the kind of Krogan relic I expected to find.
These are power schematics, and they can actually be used for that woman outside Purgatory who wanted a new power grid. There's something down there, but let's activate this first.
They cut power to the console.
You'll need to get the power back on.
Let's move.
So I have to go back to the other side.
They're shuttling in reinforcements, fortifying their position.
Great. Well, I didn't think they were going to make this easy. Armix Arsenal Gauntlets. Looks like they're on the top. Ah. There's a nemesis there. I have the distinct impression from that targeting laser. That's this is the decoy. Edie's decoy. Oh, and it just disappeared. There's still a nemesis there, and now it's dead. Can I control the placement of Edie's decoy? Kind of. That means it may be useful after all. Although, I'm not particularly good at placing it. Looks like they're all up there. I hear a turret. I think you know about by now that I do not like turrets. Also checking for salvage. Yeah, what did you expect? That sounds like a turret blew up. What caused it to blow up, I don't know, but it did. Looks like there's nobody directly above the ladder. Let's give him something to worry about. May not have hit him, but still damaged him. Okay, so these are the power control things that we need to deal with. And you need to shoot those open, and overload or other powers don't work against this, so you actually need to use bullets. Again, this just takes time. Wow, that is one sturdy ledge, or I'm just not hitting it. This just takes time, so you can't really do it during combat.
I've rerouted the power to the main console. Heading back now.
I'm sure Cerberus will pay us another visit while we do that. That is not a surprise. Guardians! There's somebody over there. Actually, it seems most of them are on the lower level. Not all of them, though. And there's a turret! Let's try and shoot the turret while it's not shooting at us. Ooh! That did a lot more damage than I thought it would. I wanted to overload the other guy, where it would have actually worked, you know? They keep coming! That should get him. The rest appear to be up in there. Oh, that's the wrong key. I was trying to do that. That's one of the fun things to do with a drone or a turret. Throw them into a room where you're not. Oh, turrets back there. They like putting them there. Very annoying place for them to put them, especially in multiplayer on this map. Oh, I did not see him. think that took care of it. Let's see if we can activate the turrets now and stop that cruiser.
Commander, cruiser initiating bombardment.
Cannon control restored. Targeting enabled. Coordinates, Lieutenant.
Uploaded.
Firing!
Direct starboard hit, Commander. Target breaking up. Repeat, direct hit.
That's what I'm talking about! Alright, good work, everyone.
And that completes this mission.
Shepard, with those Krogan cannons operational, Cerberus has actually given us the advantage in that system. The enemy's pulling back, but we think they'll try to seize the facility again.
Seems likely.
I'm sending an Alliance team to keep it secure. They've got a foothold in a strong defensive position, thanks to you.
Glad to hear it.
Good work, Commander. Hack it out.
And from here on in, the multiplayer teams can try and keep that area secure. I think this is the first N7 mission where I didn't die. We got the Krogan 1st Division as a result of that. Krogan 1st Division is a conglomeration of infantry and vehicles hastily organized into a single coalition force. The chain of command is divided by clan, with representatives from each serving as officers. Despite ancient differences, fighting the Reapers together is building a spirit of camaraderie among the division's warriors. Krogan from different clans are starting to swap equipment, stories, and even the occasional barrel of wrinkle. Well, that's the stuff that made you set off radiological alerts, isn't it?
Yes, Commander.
That's all.
Of course, Commander.
I know there's nothing new under investigate, just checking if they have any other basic things to say.
Need something, Shepard?
That's it for now, Rex. Let's get back to work.
Anytime.
I'm gonna make another quick round of the Normandy.
So, Sarah, about your buddy, the one who joined Cerberus. You heard from him?
No, I cut ties. Reported him for whatever good that did. No way I want that crap on my record.
I guess. After I walk around to the Normandy once more, I will go to the Citadel before curing, or attempting to cure, the genophage. We'll have to wait to see if that actually turns out successful.
Commander?
Not expecting there to be much new dialogue, but you never know.
Commander?
Maximum dynamic pressure is approaching. Throttle down for minimal resistance.
Thanks, Mom.
If that is how you categorize me, I will tell you to stop slouching.
Okay.
Hello, Shepard.
Let's go check in with the crew on Deck 3. Which I assume still includes Chakras here.
Commander.
I don't think they'll ever change positions after an N7 mission.
Certainly possible. Would require strengthening exercises.
Again, the dialogue with Joker.
Right. Yeah, I can do that.
At least I guess that means we've gotten all of the dialogue between Eve and Mordin, which is good.
Later.
I miss him talking about his calibrations.
Please, Enjoy your day.
Ready for the next mission?
No, I'm not ready. I need to go to the Citadel first. It's nice that the Normandy has more decks, but also means this takes even longer than before.
How do you see with only 2 eyes? Evolution has taken a strange turn in this cycle.
Were there many 4-eyed species in your cycle?
Your Joker pilot insists I call myself Prothi the Prothean. I insisted he allow me to throw him out the airlock.
That's your answer to everything.
Commander.
Profi the Prothean is actually the name that the forums gave to Javik after it was leaked that there might be a Prothean squad mate, but they didn't know what he was going to be called yet.
So I hear the elusive man drinks bourbon. It all makes sense now.
What do you mean? You love whiskey.
Hey, Scotch, my dear girl. That scunner drinks American bourbon. Completely different.
He's a psychotic megalomaniac, and you've got problems with his choice of liquor?
You've obviously never experienced the peat aroma of a fine Ely Scotch.
Never been one for whiskey myself, bourbon or Scotch. Better not let him hear that though.
Nothing to report.
Commander.
Yeah, and Adams is just gonna talk about the pipe again, so that's kind of pointless.
Commander.
Nothing going on in Newsland, it seems.
Wish you could have seen that gun on Tuchanka firsthand. I cut the auditory emulators and watched that Cerberus cruiser gracefully and silently disintegrate. Beautiful.
Sometimes I worry about you, man.
Says the guy who crashes shuttles for a hobby.
Everything is in order.
Do you hear that hum? Is that just me?
We've covered that. Wonder if you could just buy the pipe on this terminal without needing to go to the Citadel, but it would be more expensive, so not gonna do that. Besides, there's different reasons why we want to go to the Citadel. And there's a good reason to do it now, before finishing up on Tuchanka, because there are a number of things on the Citadel, particularly some of those collection missions that we're doing. Doing the Cure the Genophage mission triggers certain events that means those missions time out and you won't be able to complete them after that. Not all of the collection missions, but some of them will. So I'd better do that first. But before I do that, I want to scan the Krogan DMZ. I couldn't remember what this place was called. I think I'll start with scanning the others, then we'll be able to tell by the percentage whether or not this system has anything in it. There's one thing we're looking for in the Krogan DMZ, actually, and that is the Shadow Brokers forces.
I found something.
Which Barlavon told us to look for. Rofla. Once Rofla was a large ice dwarf, with the statistics listed below. In the waning years of the Krogan rebellions, it was shattered into a field of debris by what is assumed to have been the test of an exotic weapons system. In the wake of the event, the planetoid was reduced to a relatively contained field of thousands of tiny moonlets, rotating around one another, colliding and ricocheting. And whatever you do, don't think about the event. Go look up Mitchell and Webb's sketch show, if you don't know what I'm talking about there. It's very funny. The method used to destroy the planetoid has never been deduced. The Krogan clan who performed the experiments apparently all died in the event. Ships that have traveled to the edge of the event's light cone observed a moment of extreme gravitational lensing around Rofla immediately before its breakup, but no other clues. A popular extranet meme put forward by Asari author Delse Ortiza insists that the Turians are covering up the existence of a Krogan superbiotic breed that was genetically engineered within Rofla. The CDEM enforces quarantine around the Rofla field, citing cases of amateur investigators whose ship came to grief in the debris field. Okay, I wonder what that's about. Maybe the scan will offer some more insight. We found the Shadow Broker Wet Squad. Well, maybe if we read their description on the terminal, it will tell us some more about what happened here, but I am not certain of that. Because contrary to popular belief, I have not learned every single description of everything by heart in this game. Probably fuel depot. That was a lucky scan. The Reapers aren't even here yet. 200 units of fuel. %66 assets. That means that there's only one asset left. So only one thing in the NIF system and probably nothing in Aralac. And if there's only one thing here, then I wonder if it's a fuel depot. Which would be kind of pointless. There's the other planet. Alternatively, I guess there could be nothing here and one thing in the Aralac system. Although that is unlikely.
Faster than light jump successful. Evasion successful.
That star sure isn't going to make it easier because I can't see what I'm doing up there. Fortunately, I can fly through it.
Reapers eluded. Signal confirmed.
Found it!
Faster than light jump successful.
And it's just a fuel depot, so this was an entirely pointless detour.
Evasion successful.
Well, at least we got everything in the Krogan DMZ. And there's a fuel depot here, so let's replenish. I also want to scan the Kite's Nest, because as the map helpfully indicates, we can find the artifacts for the Blue Suns assignment here. And also, we need to find the Pillars of Strength that the Batarian Preacher asked us for. I'm pretty sure...
I found something.
There's one thing. Farouche is a hydrogen-helium gas giant named for an ancient Batarian monarch whose empire spanned continents. He had such a penchant for mating that 0.6% of modern Batarians claim to trace their lineage to him. The planet's moons are named after his many recognized wives. The largest, Bira, concealed Prothean ruins that helped the Batarians develop FTL travel. It is a Batarian point of pride that, since the ruins were damaged by earthquakes, they had less information to go on than other spacefaring species. The Reapers have destroyed all obvious military outposts in Farouche's orbit. The Batarians' notorious secrecy, however, may have allowed concealed subterranean facilities on Farouche's moon to survive. Yes, this is the Batarians' home system. So the Batarian homeworld is also here. So I'll read the description of that, even if there is no resource there. I'm not sure if there is. Intel, weapon upgrade kit. That sounds useful. And Karshan, which is the Batarian homeworlds. Karshan, the Batarian homeworld, is wrapped less in mystery than in outright lies. Batarian propaganda claims the world has 15 billion inhabitants and an economy that rivals the Asari. Although the legal slave trade does boost the Batarians' profits somewhat, Citadel sanctions have left a paper tiger of an empire, one that fights rivals through deniable terrorists' actions rather than the wars of its heyday centuries ago. The Reapers will likely be the death blow to the Empire. Almost no information has escaped Karshan since the Reapers destroyed the convoys, but Batarian refugees say that resistance has created a bond among the commoners. If a new government can rise from the ashes, that bond may sustain a new Batarian society. Batarians were amongst the first to be hit by the Reapers, so they did not fare well in this particular conflict, as we already know from some of the refugees we've seen on the Citadel. And we found the Pillars of Strength. One more thing, which is probably going to be a fuel depot. I thought I heard found it. Of course I'm not gonna get it until I come back. Even the system to find the artifacts is marked on the map. They're really making this easy for you.
Signal confirmed.
Oh. Found them both in one try. Usually there's only two, so let's hope that's the case here. Adek is a brutally hot and wet garden world, covered with molds and lichen analogues. It has many viruses and bacteria, lethal to Batarian physiology. The hegemony colonized Adek early in its expansion, but few of the colonists wanted to stay. The result was domination by a class of landed slave owners. A small cadre of well-paid engineers and skilled laborers kept the planet's megs and infrastructure functioning. Alliance estimates put the planet's Batarian population at just over 6 million, but that number has likely fallen since the Reapers arrived. That seems likely. Credits. Well, that's never unwelcome. And a fuel depot. Well, let's go and try to find those artifacts.
I found something.
Even the planet is indicated. A large rock planet, Vana, is covered in prodigious amounts of dry ice, leaving only thin traces of gas for its atmosphere. Uranium deposits drew Batarian miners to Vana long ago, and when that was exhausted, they moved on to its magnesium. The Reapers have exterminated the colony here, punching holes in the domed cities and leaving its occupants to asphyxiate. Nice. Black market artifacts. Still need to look for a fuel depot, and it looks like I found it.
Faster than light jump successful.
What I'm doing by changing my direction is controlling where I enter the system. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Only 150 units, which is kind of low considering the distance we traveled.
Evasion successful.
Let's hope that fuel depot in Harsa has a decent amount to offer. Assuming I can get there before the Reapers. I don't think I want to chance that.
Reapers eluded.
300 units of fuel. Well, it's not back to full capacity, but it's reasonable.
Faster than light jump successful.
Alright, one more place to scan for the prototype components that the Solarian scientist in Huerta was looking for, and for that we need to go to the Ismar frontier. But I'm not 100% certain where that is. There it is. Not Reaper occupied. And the fuel depot, so this is another place where you can go if you're running out of fuel. This one is closer to the mass relay as well.
Signal confirmed.
So it saves time compared to the place where Sirkesh was. Metaponto. A hydrogen-helium gas giant, Metaponto has developed a helium-3 fueling station, funded by Alcor business interests who hope to bring enough attention to the system to attract terraforming investors, and thus eventually develop Volturno as a habitable world. From a gas giant? That sounds unlikely. Thus far, they have met with little success. Advanced biotic implants, which is more intel. And that's also the only thing here, it seems. Since we got 2 items of intel, I kind of want to look at those.
Dr. Tassoni found useful information in the data you recovered, Commander.
Let's see what we got. Weapon upgrade kit. This field kit can be used for a one-time upgrade to a variety of weapons to increase ammo capacity or the potential damage dealt. Schematics have been scanned into the Normandy's onboard computers. So we can choose ammo capacity or weapon damage bonus. I think I'll go for weapon damage. Because I think that also affects squad mates, where ammo capacity is useless for them. Advanced biotic implants. This advanced amp is a sophisticated biofeedback system that interfaces with a set of armor's microcomputers. The amp can be set to help streamline the use of biotic skills and combat powers, or increase their damage instead. So we have a power damage bonus or a power cooldown bonus. For biotic powers, cooldown might be nice. Increase the chance of getting detonations, even though that's unlikely considering I don't have any bonus powers. But whatever. Yeah, I know you get you can talk, looks like you can talk to the random crewmates, but if I can actually manage to activate it, all they do is salute you. We also found a few new war assets, so let's read up on those. I think you need to talk to Barlavondo before this really goes into effect. At least you can talk to him. I'm not sure if it's necessary. I will do so anyway. As the new Shadow Broker, Liara Tassoni has the loyalty of her predecessor's assassination squad, a small but lethal team of soldiers called on for the rare occasions when information isn't enough to silence a target. Their methods vary with each mission. From subtle poisonings to bombing entire buildings, the Wet Squad is dedicated to whatever range of destruction the new broker requires. Dr. Tassoni has put them to work against the Reapers in Cerberus. Okay, so we don't find out what was going on with that planet. Too bad. Oh, and that seems to be all. I guess the artifact, since they're for the assignment, they don't get an entry on the terminal.
Commander.
So, next up, we will head to the Citadel. And after that, we will return to Tuchanka to see if we can cure the genophage.